Hey you guys, what's up? This is the Anime Blaze coming to you with another video. Um, and in this particular video, I'm going to be, well, let me rephrase that. I had something like about a month or so ago that I said in an updates video, and I made a video plain and simple about it. It was called, it was pretty much where I took on a challenge that I set for myself. And that challenge was to be able to watch the whole entire anime series of School Days and come out with my own original idea and review. And that's pretty much what I'm here for. Now, the whole idea behind this little challenge or experiment of sorts was that a lot of people who reviewed the series uh, pretty much gave it like under like really low reviews and like said it was like the most terrible anime show on earth. And I'd seen like a couple of parts of the show before, but I hadn't necessarily watched the whole thing through to the end. So I was like, I wonder, will I be able to relate? And here's another part thing of the experiment too, is that I had thought, okay, maybe since I'm still in high school, maybe I'll be able to relate to the show more than what other people were. And that's just the real thing behind it. I really wanted to see if I could relate to this more and uh, give my opinion out on it and make me have a different opinion of the shows than what other people had. So I hope I'm able to do that in this video. Okay, so we're gonna start off with what School Days is. So basically, School Days is another harem anime show uh, set in a high school formal setting, but it's supposed to be like a drama in a way. And in a lot of different ways, they could have gone better with this. And with high school, oh, everything has to take place in a high school. Yeah, I know. But the thing about the show was that made it a little bit different was that it was a drama. Drama has to have some kind of realism to it, or some kind of thing that makes you sympathize or focus on some kind of characters to be able to like it, or to some degree anyway. And pretty much, you know, that's what it's about. But the show had a lot of pros and cons to it. Uh, well, mostly, I don't know. I guess you could say mostly cons. And yeah, that's pretty much how it is. Uh, so with that being said, let's move on to the characters aspect of it. I'm going to be focusing on the main three characters that the show focuses on. Okay. Now, the main thing that I will say about the characters and about the show is that the show School Days is realistic to a certain degree uh, with the relationship, especially with the main character and his supposed girlfriend throughout the whole series. Um, you know, and the main character's name is Makoto, and when they first start off the series, he pretty much, he's riding the train and he sees this girl named Katsura who he thinks is, well, pretty cute, I guess. That's just going by his standards. And, he sees her as like, I wonder, And later on, he meets this other girl named Sekai who, like, they become, I guess you could say, like, the best of friends, which sort of really doesn't make any sense. And this is one of the show's cons. They expect us to believe that in the first episode alone, that that Sekai and Makoto become best friends, which makes no sense to me. I mean, and the biggest thing is that the time lapse in this show is terrible. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They don't tell us like how many months pass by or what's going on. They just expect us to believe that in the first episode they're automatically best friends, just like that. I mean, They don't explain if they went to the same middle school and they just now meet up with each other or something, and they already know each other. But and that's one thing I really do not like about the show. There's no character development. Um, Time lapsing, terrible. And I will say this: the next character, her name is Katsura, the girl who at first she sees Makoto the same way that he sees her. They both wind up going out with each other and all of this other stuff, and that she's like the only realistic character in this whole entire show. Everybody else, considered, friendship wise, character, no, not even character wise, but friendship wise, is fake. Sekai is fake. They're like, uh, but let me just say this on a realistic kind of scale here. Um, the one thing that School Days does focus on that actually does make sense, that does actually make sense, and I understand this to a degree, that the creators, they tried to make it as realistic of a high school kind of setting as possible, and I do think they achieved that in some cases. One being the rumors flying about, because everyone knows. I mean, I know that in high school there's always rumors going around about certain people. Everybody wants to know, like, hey, what's this person up to, that kind of thing. And then there's the posse of girls that are always trying to figure out information, passing it along, and cell phones. The way they convey their message the most is through cell phones. Uh, the cell phones played a big major role in the show, even though I personally say that they overdid the whole thing with the cell phones. I mean, I know people use text messaging and stuff like that, but they just overdid it too much in this show. It made it focus too much on the cell phones, not enough on the real relationships. Um, you know, and one thing that I will say, the main character, he's like the biggest jerk ever. Everything you hear about, like in some kind of relationship that's going on, both, everything that you hear about that could happen in a relationship that would go wrong, that people might do, the Makoto does. He pulls every single stunt that you might hear going through a relationship, every single stunt, and that's what makes him like one of the most hated anime characters ever that nobody likes. And you know, I don't even like him. And the thing about this show is that it does give off the vibe of a realistic high school kind of setting at the very beginning of the show, but at least like halfway through the show, it just takes like a major detour and just goes like head first off of a cliff. And yeah. And like I said before, Katsura was the only real character in the whole show, in both character wise, like, with like actual character development, somewhat character development anyway. Um, she's the only real one that actually had that whole kind of character thing going on there, and she was the only real friend and the only real character that actually just wanted to be normal, that sort of thing. And and a lot of people who've seen the show before sympathize with her, and I kind of see that with her too. And yeah, but Sekai also with her, uh, I will say this, she sees that Makoto likes Katsura, but she's really sneaky. I mean, in a way. I mean, at first it was sort of a simple intent, just to hook two friends up together. Obviously they like each other, that sort of thing. But she took a totally wrong turn. I mean, and one more thing before I go on with that. One of the two one of the two major things I hate about the show, that it really, really failed at, that it could have done like 10 times better, was the fact that The character's intelligence level was way under 9,000, way under 9,000, aka common sense. Common sense would have told you what to do in these situations, but they were too freaking stupid to even like go out of their way to listen and follow these and like resolve these conflicts and problems. And it was like, I mean, it was like if you were watching the show on some cases, I was watching it, and I'm just sitting there like, you're like, oh man, like what's going on, that sort of thing. And you know, simple situations that could have called for that could have been solved, and with common sense, they refused to listen to it. They did terrible with that. Um, they, like I said before, they did do good with catching the high school vibe of both confrontations, rumors, um, conflicts with people, and all that stuff. Especially the rumors. Especially the rumors. Makoto, and I will say this, like pretty much Makoto basically just fools around with every single girl that he sees. Not exactly the best main character to have for a show. I would say. Another thing I'll say is that the show's relationships were really one-sided, and a few things that they could have made better and that could have been good and that could have worked out ultimately got flushed down the toilet and was watered down. Do I think the show could have done better with maybe, say, 24 episodes? Possibly, maybe. If they're lucky, they might actually be able to do that. Um, no, no. Take back what I just said. But if they had 24 episodes, they might actually be able to do it better. I don't know. Seeing as what they did with 12 episodes, I mean, they were under constraints and everything, but I just can't tell you. Another good thing that the show, besides rumors and catching the whole high school vibe, another good thing that the show does boast is in the music department. Aside from the terrible theme song, all of the ending themes are pretty much good, especially the last ending. Now, before I end this review, I will just say this. Everything in School Days seems realistic to a certain point, like I said before. But, it could seem like it was just going normal, like a normal high school kind of vibe, and everything that you normally see you would get and everything like that from like a real high school setting. But that all changed with the last episode. The last episode made no sense. I mean, I didn't even see it coming. I knew, okay, I knew the main character was going to pay the price, like, somehow. But I don't even know where to, I don't even know where to begin to explain with where that ending came from. I don't think anybody who saw the show even knew that this was going to happen. Anybody. I knew something was going to happen to the main character, but I didn't necessarily know all of that was going to happen. Hint, hint, 2 out of the 3 characters. I didn't necessarily know that it was going to happen to 2 out of the 3 main characters. It happened out of nowhere. And everything that seemed like a normal high school kind of vibe just shattered completely, and just everybody's looking at the end of the episode just like, what just happened? And that's all I gotta say about School Days. Final rating on it, it's hard to tell between like a letter grade. It's like very, very hard to give it a letter grade. While I want to give it at least a C, I don't think it should get a C necessarily. Maybe a C. It's between a C minus and a D plus. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go with the number rating on this and give School Days a 6 out of 10. Not necessarily living up to the whole average rating with a 7 out of 10, and barely making that impact to even get on that whole rating scale there. It's not even average to me. You know, honestly, I think I did pretty good with the review, as far as saying, coming out with my own original thoughts and everything on the show. And I mean, I did come out with my own original thoughts that I saw that nobody else pointed out. But in the end, I still winded up with the same thoughts about School Days in a way. Uh, a lot. Yeah. Anyway, this is the Anime Blaze signing out, telling you guys, don't screw up relationships, or you'll wind up just like the main character of School Days. All right, I'll see you guys later.